of the IHSAA High School Football Playoffs as the 9-1 Mississinewa Indians match up against the 5-5 Yorktown Tigers. The Indians are fresh off of a 35-9 win last week over Western, led by their leader Cade Campbell, who carried the ball 28 times for 3 touchdowns.
We came out hot and heavy on the first play. We scored a touchdown, We were all amped up. Second quarter, it was a lot slower. They were pounding us a little bit, and they got a touchdown in, and we were playing slow on offense and defense. But come third and fourth quarter, we picked it up and just started running away with it.
Defensively, Kyle Funk and Tobias Mead came up with some key stops. As Mead describes, plays on both sides of the ball led to the victory.
We didn't take a play off, 11 men to the ball every time. Our offense was good. So, it was a pretty good game. We knew that we were going to come out and it's going to be a dogfight.
But tonight, it's different. A trip to the Sectional 21 championship is on the line against a Yorktown team that airs the ball out, coming off of a dominating win 1 week ago against Frankfort. The quarterback is Reed Neal, and he's their star. Last week, Neal connected on 11 passes for 160 yards and 3 touchdowns. As the Indians coach Funk says, this will be a true test.
They're going to do a great job throwing the football. We went from a run team tonight, and they're going to do a great job throwing the football. We're going to have to be ready to go.
Are the Indians up for the challenge? Can they host the sectional championship for the 2nd straight year? We'll soon find out as we throw it live to Yorktown for tonight's round 2 matchup with our broadcast crew of Dalton Bishop and Ryan Scott.
Hello and good evening, football fans. Welcome to Yorktown High School for Week 2 of the IHSAA Football Sectional. Dalton Bishop alongside the voice of the Indians, Ryan Scott. And Ryan, here tonight, the Indians match up with the Tigers.
Yeah, a very cold evening at Yorktown. Again, Indians have a fight waiting on them, The Tigers will come out strong, especially they're airing the ball a lot like we said earlier.
Taking a look at the Yorktown schedule earlier today, they're 5-5 on the year, but that record is very misleading, losing to the number 1 team in Class 5A, New Pal, 2 weeks ago. Yorktown's played some very good football teams. Like you said, Ryan, they're going to be ready to go here tonight against the Indians. Yeah,
let's start off right off the bat with a few stats here. We'll go to, the tournament history. Let's start off with Mississinewa. Since 1983 has played in 59 sectional games. Since 1983 have played in 5 regional games. And since 1983 has played in 1 semi-state game. And we will move on to the team stat comparison. Let's start off with Mississinewa. Rushing yards per game is 264. Passing yards per game is 111. Total yards per game is 375. Tackles per game is 81. Sacks per game is 1. And they're averaging 42 points a game.
Taking a look at the Yorktown Tigers, 105 rushing yards per game, but they do most of their offense in the air, 188 passing yards per game. They average 294 yards a game. Tackles per game, 66.5 tackles per game for the Yorktown Tigers, 1.5 sacks, and 32 points per game. So on paper, the Indians have the advantage.
Yeah, most definitely. Let's move on to the team leaders, and we'll go with Mississinewa. Rushing yards per game is led by number 21, Heisman Skeens, with 116. Passing yards per game is number 21, Heisman Skeens, with 109. Total yards per game is by number 21, Heisman Skeens, with 225. Tackles per game is led by number 17, Kyler Funk, with 13. Sacks per game is by number 43, Tobias Mead. And points per game is by number 35, Cade Campbell, with 16.
Taking a look at the Yorktown Tigers, a little bit of a similar story for Yorktown, like Mississinewa. One player pretty much does it all, and that's Reed Neal, their quarterback. He wears number 12, 62 rushing yards per game, 188 passing yards per game. He averages 250 total yards a game. On the defensive side, it's Aaron Willis with about 10 tackles a game. Gehrig Selmstig with 1 sack per game, and points goes to number 25, Austin Hill. We will take a 2-minute timeout. Me and Ryan will go down to the field and do some pregame work. This is Mississinewa Indians football from Yorktown High School.
Tigers for the second round of Sectional 21. Joined by me is partner Dalton Bishop. And Dalton, let's take it back to last week. Welcome to Yorktown High School, home of the Tigers for the second round of Sectional 21. Joined by me is partner Dalton Bishop. And Dalton, let's take it back to last week before we get things started here. Last week it was a big win for the Indians.
Yeah, absolutely. Cade Campbell put on a show once again. I believe 176 rushing yards on 28 carries for 3 touchdowns. So Cade again proved to be a Panther killer and in the hopes of the Panthers last week. But like you said, a big win for the Indians.
Yeah, for sure. And let's talk about what does the Indians have to do tonight to get the second round win captured?
I definitely think that the pass coverage has to be better. Having the chance to talk to Coach Funk last week after the win, tonight we're going to see a little bit more passing out of Yorktown than we will of them running the ball. Western was a team that liked to ground and pound, and like Coach Funk said, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. But tonight you're going to see Yorktown air the ball out, and the Indians struggled earlier in the year, of course, against the Alexandria Tigers. Alexandria really passed the ball well against the Indians, so hopefully the Indians have that corrected and are able to stop that here tonight.
Yeah, let's take it back to the first quarter. The first play of the game, you did not see Heisman Skeens behind the ball at the QB position. What are your thoughts on that play right there?
I really thought that from that point forward, after the touchdown, it really set the tone for the game. Once the Indians were able to get into the end zone, like you said, just 19 seconds into the game, you could kind of see the frustration out of Western, and then Western just never looked in sync the rest of the game. Heisman really did them in.
Yeah, Heisman Skeens took it down the sideline for the Indian touchdown with at least 19 seconds into the game. Dalton, let's take it back to, again to tonight. It's second round, and you and I get to call another sectional football game together.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Like we tell each other each year when we get to this point in the season, it's now or the end of the season for us. So hopefully the Indians can get another big win tonight and advance to the championship, and hopefully we will get the opportunity to try to call another sectional championship.
Take a 3-minute break and be back with more of the Indian stats, Yorktown stats, and Meet the Indians, and interviews from both head coaches. You're watching Mississinewa Indians pregame show live from Yorktown High School. Welcome back to Yorktown High School. Let's take a couple minutes and let's meet the Indians.
Welcome back to more of our pregame shows. We meet the Indians for the second week of round 2 of sectionals, and Drew Castanon talk about the season and what it meant to get a win over Western last week.
Well, the season started off not very good. I've only played like 3 games, but it just felt really good to win that first round of sectionals against Western, opponent who it was a really close game last year. I was glad we could blow them out of the water.
You had a good defensive play in that game, an interception that kind of was able to get the momentum back rolling again.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I just read the quarterback, went up, caught the ball like usual.
You know, like you said, you only played 3 games this year and battled through some injury, but now you're back. And first off, how's it feel to be back? And secondly, how was you able to keep the confidence to be able to work back and be able to play?
Oh, man, it just feels great to finally be actually practicing, hitting people, just going back to normal. And I just stayed strong with all my teammates, hung out with them, just never gave up.
Drew, thanks for your time and good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Standing with junior Kyler Funk, and Kyler, a big win over Western last week. You advanced to the second week now, and you get Yorktown here tonight. Kind of walk us through how the season's been so far.
You know, it's been great, especially our junior class. We've all just stepped up, I think, from last year to this year, and I'm just really proud of us and what we've been doing. It's just a brotherhood from here and then out.
How big of a win was it for you and your football team to get a win over Western last weekend and advance to tonight?
Well, I'm so happy, you know. We got to worry about tonight, though, like you said, against Yorktown. But I'm just really happy that we beat Western because there's a lot of history going back for my dad and like me, obviously, and my teammates. And, yeah, it's just Western. I'm glad we beat them, you know.
How cool would it be for you and your dad and the rest of the football team to go back-to-back years and be a sectional champion again?
That'd be awesome, you know. Regional championship, hopefully we'll play like Mooresville or Greenwood, whoever. It doesn't really matter to any of us, but I just want to like be there and get the Lucas Oil and get a ring this year for all of us.
Well, Kyler, thanks for your time. Good luck today against Western or Yorktown rather, and let's go for a second one.
Yep, thank you.
Welcome back to the Tribe Sports Network as we continue with Meet the Indians, and we're joined by our third junior of the day, Skylar Tackett. And Tackett, you guys got a big win over Western last week, and you get Yorktown here tonight. Walk us through the season and walk us through a little bit about what you know about Yorktown.
Yeah, we started off the season real rough and shaky. Our line wasn't really put together that well. Then Friday we came out against Western and really put everything together. Our line stepped up huge. And I think we set the tone as being Western as a physical team, and we just came out the first snap and hit them in the mouth, and it broke their will.
You know, a lineman like yourself, you know, you see Heisman Skeens go down there in the first quarter, one of your team leaders, and just kind of talk about what it was like as a team to step up and battle that adversity and be able to get that win. What was that like, being able to battle that adversity?
Yeah, Coach Funk's always talking about the next man up, and we brought the linemen together, and we just said, we got to put everybody on our back, and it all starts with us, and it don't matter who's running the ball. And if we get the blocks, we can get the yards, you know.
You get Yorktown here tonight. Kind of talk to us a little bit about what you know about this team.
Yeah, they're a tough opponent. They like to spread us out. It's known to be one of our weaknesses. That's why we got to have a big week of practice working on our weaknesses so it could become one of our strengths.
If you're able to knock off Yorktown here tonight, no matter who you play, whether it's Marion or Delta in the sectional championship, it will be in Gas City. Kind of talk to us a little bit about what that would mean to you to be able to be a sectional champion for the second straight year.
Yeah, just big to the program how much Coach Funk and the organization flipped everything around, because 5-6 years ago we weren't known for putting up anything in sectionals or anything, and now that we're starting to get state recognition over everything, it's real big, and hopefully we can continue it.
Skylar, thanks for your time. Good luck today against Yorktown, and like I told Kyler, let's go for 2 in a row.
Yes, sir.
Skylar Tackett, junior lineman for the Mississinewa Indians, will come back with more of our pregame show after this. This is Mississinewa Indians football on the Tribe Sports Network.
Welcome back to Yorktown High School, home of the Tigers for, like we have been saying, for the second round of Sectional 21. And Dalton, let's take a 30-second break, and we'll hear the interviews from Coach Frunk and Coach Wilhelm of the Yorktown Tigers. We'll be back in 30. You're watching Mississippi Indians football on the Tribe Sports Network. Let's hear the words from Yorktown's head coach.
Welcome back to the pregame show, and we're joined by Mike Wilhelm, head coach of the Yorktown Tigers. And Coach, welcome to week 2 of the IHSAA sectional. How's the season gone for you and your team leading up to this point?
For us, it's been up and down. We've been consistent in some games and inconsistent in others. We've won the games we were supposed to win, and really haven't won any games that we're not supposed to win. So I think that's the challenge tonight. No one's picking Yorktown to win this game, and it's got to be a game for us where we come out and challenge Mississinewa and see if we can beat a team that's supposedly better than us.
But taking a look at your schedule, your record is kind of misleading by the losses that you have. They are quality losses. You played some really good football teams this year.
Yeah, I mean, when you play the number 1 team in 5A, New Pal, that's a good game. But our losses were bad because we lost by a lot of points, and you don't like to see that as a coach. They weren't competitive for the entire. We weren't competitive for the entire game, and that's our challenge. We need to be competitive for our entire 48 minutes.
What do you have to do tonight to knock off this Indian football team?
I think we just have to tackle. We have to attack instead of sit around and let their Mississinewa's excellent offense come after us. Because there's no doubt there are playmakers on that offense, and just some big guys, as big as the offensive lines we've seen in our conference, and they like to attack. So kind of our mantra tonight is we have to attack on defense if we want to be successful. Then offensively, we need to be efficient. We've been up and down offensively. When we're really efficient, we have really good games, and that's kind of our goal, be efficient.
Health-wise, how are you coming into tonight?
We have a lot of injuries this year, and we don't use that as an excuse. Our starting running back's out tonight, Britton Wheat, so we'll have some guys who have to step up and play running back for us tonight.
Coach, thanks so much for your time, and good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Mike Wilhelm, the head coach of the Yorktown Tigers, will be back with more of our pregame show after this.
After the 60-second timeout.
Welcome back to the varsity pregame show on the Tri Sports Network. Joins me now is Coach Funk. Coach 2 is the second round of Sectional 21. How you feeling?
Feeling good. We had fall break this week, so it's always a little bit different. Schedule changes. Kids had the whole week off, but I really was happy with our kids' focus all week.
Since it is you're not used to grass as much, anything will affect the players tonight?
No, we practice on grass all week on our practice field. It's a little bit wet, but it's going to be wet for both teams. And, we're just going to have to go out here and secure the football.
What do you know about Yorktown? That'll hopefully not be a two-stop for you.
Yorktown's an extremely good football team. We're going to have our hands full tonight. They do a tremendous job throwing the football. They got a great quarterback in junior Reed Neal. He's really, talented. He has a talented group of receivers. They're stout with their run defense. So, we're a run-heavy team, and the strength of their defense is their run defense. They play in a tough conference, and they pass the ball really well. So, we're gonna have to play really well tonight.
Coach, how are you guys health-wise?
Health-wise, we're okay. We still got Caden Cole out, but other than that, we're good to go.
Coach, thank you for your time. Best of luck.
Hey, thank you.
Coach, football Well, Coach, the Mississinewa Indians will be back in 60 seconds for the rest of the varsity pregame, live from Yorktown High School.
Welcome back to the home of the Tigers for, again, the second round of Sectional 21. And let's go over again the team leaders. First for Mississinewa. Rushing yards per game is number 21, Heisman Skeens, with 116. Passing yards per game is by number 21, Heisman Skeens, with 109. Total yards per game is by Heisman Skeens with 225. Tackles per game is by number 17, Kyler Funk, with 13. Sacks per game is by number 43, Tobias Mead, with .6. And points per game is by number 35, Cade Campbell, with 16.
Taking a look at the Yorktown Tigers, as we heard in the interview, Coach Funk, Reed Neal does it all for the Tigers, number 12. Rushing yards per game, 62 rushing yards per game for Reed Neal. He wears number 12 again. Passing yards per game, Reed Neal, 188 passing yards per game. Total yards per game, guess who? Reed Neal again, 250.5 total yards per game. On the defensive side, 10 tackles per game for number 47, Aaron Willis. Number 41, Garrick Selmstig, 1 sack per game. And number 25, Austin Hill, averages 8.2 points per game. So, taking a look on paper as far as the team leaders go, pretty even as far as the individual players go. Now, Ryan, let's take a look at the team stats first for the Ole Miss Indians.
Rushing yards per game is 264. Passing yards per game is 111. Total yards per game is 375. Tackles per game is 81. Sacks per game is 1. And points per game is 42.
Taking a look at the Yorktown Tigers, they average 105 rushing yards per game. In the air, 188 passing yards per game, 295 total yards per game. Tackles per game, 66.5. They have averaged 1 sack and 32 points per game. And so, Ryan, by taking a look at the individual players, they match up pretty even. But when you look at the team numbers, Mississinewa has the advantage.
Yeah, and not only Mississinewa has the advantage, but like we heard earlier in the pregame show, Yorktown airs the ball a lot.
Yorktown is a very, very good football team, and I'm going to tell you one thing. If the Indians think that they're just going to come in here and walk all over this Tiger team, they got another thing coming.
Yes, for sure. And let's go back to more of, back in the past. Mississinewa versus Yorktown, they have met 2 total times in sectional play. The series is tied 1-1. So, Dalton, Mississinewa hasn't got to play Yorktown as much.
No, they haven't. And like Coach Funk said, this team likes to pass the ball. They do a phenomenal job passing the ball. Their quarterback, Reed Neal, a very versatile player offensively. Like Coach Funk said, they got some pretty stout receivers that can catch the ball, and if they get out in the open, then it's bad news for the opposing team. So, the Indians have got to play some defense here tonight.
Yeah, let's move back to, like we talked about just a moment ago, what were the 2 matchups that were played against Mississinewa versus Yorktown? That'd be back in 2005 when they went 8-3 under head coach Steve Rinker. That'd been October 21st with a win 35-6. And 2004 when the Indians went 7-4, that was Coach Steve Rinker home against Yorktown with a 6-28 loss. So like we said, not too many times the Mississinewa Indians have got to play the Yorktown Tigers, but let's see what Mississinewa can do tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ryan, as we talk about seeing what the Indians can do tonight, keys to victory first for the Indians, Ryan. What do the Indians have to do, you think, offensively to be able to knock off this Tiger team?
You have to find open space. Like we saw last week, you got to find the sideline, and I think that's one of the most important things. And maybe it's like last week. We might see 3 quarterbacks tonight as well.
Something for me is the same thing. Find the open space, but something that I've really looked at this season for the Indians, and something that's really impressed me. They don't get as much recognition as they should because they are probably the most important people on the football field at all times, and that's the offensive and defensive line. Offensively, the line, you won't get that open space unless the line does what they're supposed to do and get out and block. So, keys to me, for me, like you said, the open space, but the line's got to block.
Yeah, defensively for me, for the Indians, is you got to get stopped. You can't let as many first downs, and you got a quick stop, and especially when you have Cruz in there, it should be a lot easier.
Yeah, Ryan, like for me, defensively, we talked about earlier this year, and we talked about it all this week, Ryan, when we had the chance to go and check out some of the Indians practice a little bit, and just me and you talking off the air, but even before we came on the air tonight. Something the Indians have to do defensively is cover the middle of the field. When the Indians played at Alexandria earlier this year, Alexandria passed the ball and was able to get across the middle of the field and get into the end zone. Yorktown likes to pass. If they can get to the middle of the field and find open receivers, the Indians are going to have a lot of trouble. So for me, you got to keep the ball out of the air.
Yeah, especially when you have a talented Reed Neal that handles the ball super well offensively. Like you said, you got to keep the ball from out of the sky.
For Yorktown, I think their keys to victory offensively is like we just said, defensively for the Indians. You got to find the middle of the field, and you got to get your receivers the football because Reed Neal, like we said, is dangerous, and he can pass the ball. So offensively for Yorktown, they got to get the ball to the middle of the field to the receivers.
Yes, 12 minutes to play until the opening kick, and we will take a 2-minute break and be back with more of the Indians and the Tiger stats. You're watching Minnesota Indians football on the Tribe Sports Network. Welcome back to more of the Varsity Pregame Show. 11 minutes until kickoff. Let's do an injury report. Injury report is brought to you by Marion General Hospital. Let's start off with Yorktown.
Yeah, Ryan, we talked to Coach Wilhelm just a little bit earlier, and they're battling some adversity already coming into tonight. They're starting running back, 5'11 senior, 180 pounds, number 44, Britton Wheat, is out for tonight's game, so Yorktown's got to battle some adversity already.
Yeah, especially one of their key players, and not as this is so important, but I counted at least 7 players that were injured tonight, but especially with that one key player. Let's move to Mississinewa. The only really, I would say, major injury tonight is by number 1, Caden Cole, with a knee injury, so he will be out at least this game, and hopefully he'll be back next week.
Yeah, because unfortunately, Caden Cole is he does an outstanding job offensively and defensively for Ole Miss. He's a key component to that team, and like you said, hopefully he'll get better and we'll be able to see him.
Yeah, especially and like we said, keep on saying over and over, a key player, and that'll hurt you.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the rosters for both teams. When you look at the offensive and defensive line for both teams, Coach Funk and the Indians have got a very, very big offensive and defensive line. Right now we can go ahead and take a look at the offensive and defensive starters for Yorktown. Quarterback number 11, Reed Neal, he will be their starting quarterback. At the halfback position will be number 42, Jamarius Evans. The wide receivers will be number 80, Jared Harris. He's a senior. A sophomore, number 88, Walker Moore, will be the other receiver. He wears number 88. At the other two receivers is a junior, number 16, Mylon McCowan. The other receiver, a junior, number 25, Austin Hill. Offensive guard, number 72, Holden Parsons. He's a junior. Number 76, Billy McNamara. He is a junior offensive guard as well. Looking at the center, a junior, number 73, Dom Cantarazite. A offensive tackle, number 58, he's a junior, Caleb Howe. The other offensive tackle will be a senior, number 59, Taylor Licht. Looking at the special teams, kick return, number 17, Mylon McCowan. Number 25, Austin Hill, and number 80, Jared Harris, will do most of the returns. The punt return will be returned by number 25, Austin Hill. He is a junior. Taking a look at the kicker, number 80, Jared Harris. The punter will be number 88, Walker Moore. Taking a look at the defensive starters, defensive end, number 59, Taylor Licht. A defensive tackle, number 72, Holden Parsons. The other defensive tackle will be number 53, Mason Graham. He's a senior. Defensive end, number 58, Caleb Howe. Inside linebacker, number 73, Dom Cantarazite. The other inside linebacker will be number 51, Devin Thompson, a senior. The outside linebackers, number 42, Jamarius Evans, and number 85, John LaPrade. LaPrade is a sophomore. The quarterback, number 82, Alex Gibson. The safety, number 25, Austin Hill. And the other cornerback to the other side of the field will be number 80, Jared Harris.
Yes, we're going to take a 60-second break and be back, and we'll talk about the Sectional 21 matchups tonight as going, another one down the road. We'll be back in 60. You're watching Mississinewa Indians pregame on the Tribe Sports Network. Welcome back to the varsity pregame show. Dalton, let's talk about a little bit of the sectional 21 lineup if you want to do the top half of the bracket.
Yeah, last week, Pendleton Heights and Marion met up in Marion. Pendleton Heights fell up a little bit short. Marion goes on and wins that game 49-35, which advances them to this week. Their matchup tonight, they will play Delta, a winner over Lebanon, 28-14 last week. So a very good matchup going on over at Delta here tonight. Marion takes on Delta.
Yeah, let's move down to the bottom half of the bracket. Yorktown beat Frankfort 53-7. Western took the loss to Mississinewa 35-9. This week's lineup: the 5-5 Yorktown Tigers and the 9-1 Mississinewa Indians will meet up tonight.
Yeah, and the Indians and the Tigers just came out onto the field, and we are just moments away from getting tonight's action underway here from Yorktown High School. We'll take a 60-second timeout and come back with a coin toss. This is Mississinewa Indians football on the Tribe Sports Network. Welcome back to Yorktown High School. Ryan, just a few minutes away from the coin toss. We'll get the captains, and we are just moments away, and it's time to play football here in Yorktown.
Yeah, it's exciting for us, exciting for fans, and especially excited for players and coaches. It's a big accomplishment to make it to week 2 of the Central or IHSA Sectional 21.
Yeah, IHSA Sectional 21 talked about all over the state of Indiana. One of the toughest sectionals to play in throughout the entire state. And the captains will go to center of the field, and we will get the coin tossed here in just a few seconds. So, again, Yorktown without their star running back, Britton Wheat, out for tonight.
And Mississinewa without one of their key players, number 1, Caden Cole.
Let's see. They will get the look here from the officials. We will see who has won the toss. So here we go. Here comes the call. Yorktown has won the toss. They elect to defer, and the Indians will elect to receive. So we will see offensively what the Indians have in store here early in this game. So, Ryan, Yorktown elects to defer. They're going to step it up on defense, and Heisman Skeens and the Indians will start the night off on offense.
I tell you what, this is when our when we start to stand up and we start to get loud here in Yorktown for Sectional 21, and we'll let the players make their way to the fields, and we'll be back in 1 minute for the opening kick here in Yorktown.
Welcome back to Yorktown High School. Heisman Skeens and Cade Campbell back to receive for the Indians. Ryan, it only took 19 seconds a week ago. Can they break the 19-second record and make it earlier than that?
Let's see what the Indians can do. Like you said, 2 in the backfield, and let's get this sectional 21 underway in Yorktown.
Their kicker, number 80, Jared Harris, will be set to kick it off. For the Tigers, the rain is falling, the wind is blowing. It's kind of cold here in Yorktown, but nonetheless, we're ready to play football. Here comes the opening kick, and who will get the ball? Here's the kick, kind of to the right, and it will bounce and slide. Heisman Skeens picks it up at the 20, and he breaks the tackle out across the 25.
He's going.
He gets dropped at the 29.
With the carry, takes the ball to the 35-yard line.
It's going to be the 35. It looked like the 29 from here. It's
Yeah.
kind of hard to see the numbers with it being a grass field. We're used to calling it on turf.
Yeah, I tell you what, breakthrough 3 early is a big deal. A ball will be on the 35.
The Indians take over on offense. First and 10.
It's going to be first down and 10 for the Indians. Jason Arbogast is the one of the linemen. John Hall. Timmy Scott will be the center. Chris Pavey, Skylar Tackett on the far side. Kyler Funk, the tight end. He wears number 17. They have dual tight ends on the field with Andrew Cruz to this side. The quarterback will be Cade Campbell. Skeens to this side. Skeens goes in motion. Here comes the snap. The handoff. Campbell going to keep it. He goes up the middle, breaks a couple of tackles, and gets 2 on that first play.
Yeah, breaks through 2, and not the key way to start off, but it is a start. I know they're used to playing on grass, but not in game situation.
Yeah, it's going to be second down and 8. Ball is going to be placed at the 37. So, Ryan, a little bit different here. We're seeing Cade Campbell at the quarterback position this week.
I told you, I could see, like last week, at least three new quarterbacks. Well, not new, but different quarterbacks in tonight's game. Campbell sends Heisman in motion. Heisman will take it down the line, and he will go out of bounds and after a breakthrough 1.
I think he got the first down.
I think he did.
Let's see if the chains move. If not, he's going to be a yard short. I think he's a yard short. So it's going to be third and probably 1. So it is third and 1. This is Heisman Skeens. No, that's Cruz under the center. He's going to get it and rush forward, and I think he may be stopped at least a yard short, maybe inches here. Looks like he's short here.
First down. This is a first down.
It is an Indian first down.
I told you I was about to say I'd be surprised if Cruz didn't get that first down because once he has the ball and he pulls away, he's strong.
Drew Castanon will come to the field. Heisman Skeens now moves to the quarterback position. We've seen that duo in the Eastbrook Panther game earlier this year connect on a game-winning touchdown pass. Skeens will send Cade Campbell in motion. Here is the handoff to Campbell. He's going to cut inside, and he is not going to go anywhere because number 42, Jamarius Evans, was on the stop, a 6'4 sophomore. A nice tackle there by Evans. Good play by the Tigers. It's going to be second and 10 at the 45. Skeens going to be the quarterback. You might watch a direct snap to Campbell here, though. Here's Skeens. The shotgun sends Campbell in motion to the far side. Skeens back to pass, and the pass is going to be a little bit out in front of Campbell, and it brings up third down. Ryan, looks like the Indians a little out of rhythm here.
Yeah, a little out of the rhythm, and it's honestly surprising going back to last week on that 19 second into the game play. Let's see on 3rd down, 10 to go. Let's see what the Indians can do. Hopefully they can get this first down, and let's march down the field.
Bryce Ludke will come onto the field. Kyler Funk will exit. Carson Campbell to the far side. They got 2 receivers to the far side. That would be Drew Castanon, Carson Campbell, the tight end on the far side. And actually going to come to this side now will be Andrew Cruz. The receivers will be Bryce Ludke and Cade Campbell on this side. Skeens, the quarterback. Back in the shotgun, takes the snap. Looking back to pass, going to throw across the field, and he finds Andrew Cruz.
Cruz will be dropped down, but an amazing catch, and that should be a first down.
How about that, Ryan? We talked about the Indians going to have to stop the pass across the middle, but Yorktown gives up a big pass, I believe about a 26-yard pass to the tight end, Cruz. How about that?
And you see and you hear Indian fans go, Cruz, because he just had an amazing catch to make them march down the field. 1st and 10 on the 34-yard line.
Cade Campbell goes back to the quarterback position now like we've seen last week, Ryan. And like you said, we're going to see probably a 3-quarterback rotation between Campbell, Skeens, and Cruz here tonight.
Campbell sends Skeens in motion. Campbell takes it by himself of a gain at least 1.
He was knocked down in the backfield by number 51, Devin Thompson, and number 42, Jamarius Evans, 2 of their star defensive players. Campbell comes up a little wobbly, holding his hand, and got a little bit of a limp. That's not good. Campbell does not want to put any pressure on that leg. He's trying to walk it off here. Campbell definitely shooken up here on this play. Here is Skeens with 2 seconds on the play clock to snap it. Down to 1, and he gets it off. Here's Skeens going to keep it around the far side. Cuts inside of a tackle, and I believe gets probably 3 on that one. Did not see who was there to stop him. I believe that was number 25,
yes,
Austin Hill.
Yeah, Skeens takes it, breaks through 2, but Cade Campbell is still hurting, and that'll be 3rd down and 9 to go.
Campbell, you can tell that he's a warrior. He doesn't want to come out of the game. That's why he just walked it off. His brother Carson in the backfield. Look at that. The 3-headed monsters, we like to call it.
Yes, we do.
Both of the Campbell boys and Skeens. Carson only a freshman and Cade only a junior, so we get at least another year of Cade and 3 more years of Carson. Here's Castanon in motion to this side. Skeens back to pass, rolls back. Good block from Skylar Tackett. Skeens
will take it by himself, and he will slide.
He's going to be short, at least 2 or 3 yards.
Short.
How about the block? Like I said, the keys to victory for the Indians. How about the block from Skylar Tackett to give Skeens enough time to roll out?
Yeah, a great stop, stay in front, and hold him back until Skeens releases the ball. And I tell you, Tackett is one of the kids that can do that. I mean, he is strong.
It's 4th and 5 in Tiger territory. The Indians are definitely going to go for it here. They're in 4th down territory. The Indians in a no-huddle offense got the play cards on their side. Here is Skeens. Skeens will get the snap, roll out to the left. He's going to look down the field and throw, and he has Cade Campbell.
Campbell will take it and breaks through 0, but has no one around him, goes out of bounds, and that should be an Indian first down, and that is first down, Indians.
Skeens is 2 for 3 passing and probably close to about 50 yards now. We're not keeping individual stats for each player, but Heisman doing a phenomenal job getting the ball distributed to who he needs to get it to. We saw Cruz with a pass across the middle, got out to the corner here to Cade Campbell, his cousin, and Cade takes it for a first down, and they're marching farther and farther into Tiger territory. This is a very good Yorktown team.
See what the Indians can do here. First down, 10 to go, ball's on the 16, so a lot of things can happen. Campbell takes it, and a gain of 0, if not a loss of 1.
Number 85 on the stop, John LaPrade. You know, Coach Funk talked about it in the interview with you a little bit earlier today, Ryan. He said that Yorktown's, what they're strong at is the run defense, and you can see it right now.
Yeah, for sure. And the Indians, what they need to do is they need to work around it. I mean, ball is on the 13, so good things can happen here for the Indians.
Skeens back in the shotgun, 2 receivers to the far side. Seems like the Indians are good on 3rd and 4th down, at least tonight. Rain still coming down at a pretty good pace here. Campbell back in the quarterback position. He's going to send Heisman Skeens in motion. Campbell, it's a fumble, and I believe the Yorktown Tigers have fell on top of the ball. It's going to be Yorktown ball, and that is what you do not want to see if you're Coach Funk and this Indians football team.
Yeah, you can't have that happen, especially when it's on 3rd down, and you can see Coach Funk is frustrated, but it's time to play D.